How do you know when a woman is taking more from you than she is giving back? Not in the loud, obvious way. Not always through drama, shouting, or disrespect you can clearly point to. Sometimes it is much quieter than that. Sometimes she keeps you attached by giving you just enough affection to stay hopeful, but not enough consistency to feel secure. She makes you feel wanted in certain moments, then ignored in others. She pulls you close when it suits her, then creates distance when you need something from her. And because the connection feels powerful when it is good, you keep explaining away the parts that are slowly draining you. In this video, I want to show you the real signs that a woman is selfish in a relationship. Not so you can become bitter, not so you can start blaming women, but so you can stop confusing emotional attachment with genuine love. By the end of this video, you will not only know whether you are investing in the wrong woman, you will also understand what your tolerance says about your self-respect. Sign 1. Her world has space for her feelings, but not yours. One of the clearest signs of a selfish woman is that the relationship slowly becomes built around her emotional temperature. When she is happy, everything feels peaceful. When she is upset, everything stops. When she wants attention, you are expected to be present. When she wants distance, you are expected to understand. When she has a problem, you are expected to listen, adjust, comfort, and reassure. But when you are the one who needs patience, attention, honesty, or support, suddenly there is always a reason why it is not the right time. She is tired. She is busy. She does not want stress. She says you are doing too much. She says you are making things complicated. And slowly, without even realizing it, you begin to treat your own needs like they are a disturbance. That is where the damage starts. Because at first, you may think you are just being mature. You tell yourself, let me not pressure her, let me not make this worse, let me be patient. But there is a difference between patience and self-abandonment. Patience means you understand that people have difficult moments. Self-abandonment means you keep silencing yourself so another person never has to feel uncomfortable. And many men fall into this trap because they want peace. They do not want arguments. They do not want to seem needy. So they keep adjusting. They keep waiting. They keep accepting less. But every time you suppress your needs just to keep her comfortable, you teach her something. You teach her that your feelings can wait. You teach her that your standards are flexible. You teach her that the relationship works best when she is centered and you are quiet. That is not love. That is imbalance. A healthy woman does not need you to disappear emotionally so she can feel secure. She does not expect your life, your schedule, and your peace to constantly revolve around her mood. A healthy relationship has mutual inconvenience. Sometimes you adjust for her. Sometimes she adjusts for you. Sometimes you listen. Sometimes she listens. Sometimes you carry her. Sometimes she carries you. That is partnership. But when you are always bending and she is always being accommodated, that is not partnership anymore. That is emotional control wearing the mask of connection. So here is a question you need to ask yourself honestly. If you stopped arranging your life around her feelings, would she still make effort to understand you? Or would the whole connection start falling apart? Because a woman who truly values you will not require you to shrink yourself to keep her close. She will make room for you too. Sign 2. She comes close when she needs something, then disappears when she is fine. This one can be very confusing because it does not always feel bad in the beginning. In fact, it can feel special. She calls you when she is overwhelmed. She texts you when she feels lonely. She opens up when life is heavy. She leans on you when she needs comfort, advice, money, attention, reassurance, or emotional support. And in those moments, you feel important. You feel chosen. You feel like you are the one she trusts. But do not judge the relationship only by the moments when she needs you. Judge it by what happens when she does not. When everything is calm in her life, does she still check on you? When she is having fun, does she still remember you? When she is not lonely, does she still invest? When she does not need help, does she still show affection? That is where the truth usually shows up. A selfish woman often treats connection like a resource. She uses it when she is empty, bored, confused, or emotionally unstable. But once she feels better, she pulls back. You become useful, not valued. There is a difference. Being useful means she reaches for you because you solve a problem. Being valued means she chooses you even when there is no problem to solve. And that is what many men miss. They confuse being needed with being loved. But need can be selfish. Need can be temporary. Need can be about what you provide, not who you are. A woman who genuinely values you does not only appear when her life is falling apart. She shows up with consistency. She makes deposits into the relationship, not just withdrawals. She asks how you are doing. She makes time without being chased. She considers your emotional state. She does not treat you like an emergency contact for her feelings. Now here is where men get trapped. They focus on the emotional highs. They say, "But when we are together, it is amazing." They say, "She tells me things she does not tell anyone else." They say, "I know she cares, she just has a lot going on." Maybe. But care without consistency will still exhaust you. Affection without effort will still confuse you. Closeness without commitment will still keep you stuck. You have to stop measuring her by the best moments and start measuring her by the pattern. Because the pattern is the relationship, not the apology, not the random sweet message, not the one good weekend. The pattern. And if the pattern says she only appears when she benefits, then you are not in a secure connection. You are in a cycle. She pulls you in when she needs something. You feel hopeful. She gets what she wants. Then she becomes distant again. Sign 3. She turns your concerns into your fault. This is one of the most dangerous signs because it can make you doubt yourself. You bring up something that bothered you. Maybe she ignored your message for a long time but was active online. Maybe she spoke to you disrespectfully. Maybe she canceled plans without care. Maybe she keeps doing something she knows makes you uncomfortable. So you decide to address it calmly. You say, "I did not like how that felt." You say, "Can we talk about what happened?" You say, "I need more clarity from you." Now watch her response. A woman who respects you may not agree immediately, but she will at least try to understand. A selfish woman will shift the conversation away from her behavior and make it about your reaction. Suddenly, the issue is not what she did. The issue is your tone, your timing, your sensitivity, your insecurity, your attitude, your negative energy. Now you are no longer discussing the original problem. You are defending your right to even have a problem. That is how accountability gets avoided. She may say things like, "You are overthinking. You always make things deep. Why are you trying to argue? You are too sensitive. I cannot deal with this right now." And because she sounds calm, you may think she is being reasonable. But calm manipulation is still manipulation. The goal is not always to scream over you. Sometimes the goal is to make you feel irrational enough to back down. And if this happens repeatedly, you start editing yourself before you speak. You rehearse your words. You soften your concerns. You wait for the perfect time. You avoid certain topics. Eventually, you stop bringing things up at all because every conversation costs too much energy. That is how you lose your voice. Not all at once, slowly. One avoided conversation at a time. A woman who avoids accountability is not just avoiding discomfort. She is protecting the version of herself that does not have to change. Because real accountability requires maturity. It requires someone to say, "I may not have meant to hurt you, but I can see how my actions affected you." It requires humility. It requires emotional responsibility. A selfish person does not want that. They want the benefits of intimacy without the burden of self-correction. So they turn the mirror back on you. They make you feel like your standards are attacks. They make you feel like asking for respect is pressure. They make you feel like wanting consistency is insecurity. But listen carefully. You are not difficult because you require basic respect. You are not needy because you want honesty. You are not toxic because you notice patterns. The wrong person will always make your standards feel like a problem because your standards expose what they do not want to give. So ask yourself this. The last few times you brought up an issue, what actually happened? Did the conversation lead to understanding? Did anything change? Was there effort afterward? Or did you end up apologizing, explaining yourself, and feeling guilty for even speaking? Because if every concern you raise somehow turns into evidence against you, you are not communicating with someone who wants growth. You are dealing with someone who wants escape. Sign 4. The more you give, the less she respects you. This one hurts because most men are taught that if you love a woman deeply enough, support her enough, and stay patient enough, she will eventually appreciate it. But that is not always true. Some women respect your love only when it is connected to boundaries. They may enjoy your kindness, your patience, and your generosity, But if those things come with no standards, they stop seeing them as valuable. They start seeing them as guaranteed. And what is guaranteed often gets taken for granted. When she knows you will always answer, always forgive, always adjust, always give, always wait, and always return, your presence loses weight. Not because you are not valuable, but because you have removed consequence. She learns that she can give little and still receive much. She can disappear and still be welcomed back. She can disrespect you and still get access. She can ignore your needs and still receive your effort. That is when respect begins to decline. And the mistake many men make is that they respond to the decline by giving even more. She becomes colder, so they become warmer. She becomes inconsistent, so they become more available. She gives less effort, so they work harder. They think, maybe if I love her better, she will treat me better. No. If a woman is already taking your effort for granted, more effort will not fix the dynamic. It will confirm it. It will tell her, you do not have to meet me halfway. I will keep crossing the whole distance alone. That is how you lose emotional leverage. And understand this clearly. Having leverage does not mean playing games. It does not mean being cruel, manipulative, or unavailable on purpose. Leverage simply means your presence is connected to self-respect. It means your love is generous but not desperate. It means your support is real but not unlimited. It means you can care deeply and still walk away from disrespect. That is the part many men need to learn. A woman who deserves you will not punish you for having standards. She will respect you more because your kindness has structure. She will know that your love is not weakness. She will know that your patience is not permission. She will know that your loyalty is not a license to mistreat you. But a selfish woman wants your devotion without your boundaries. She wants the comfort of your presence without the responsibility of reciprocating. And if you keep giving from a place of fear, she will feel it. If you are giving because you are afraid she will leave, she will feel it. If you are giving because you are trying to prove you are enough, she will feel it. If you are giving because you hope she will finally choose you properly, she will feel it. And that kind of giving does not create respect. It creates dependency. So ask yourself a hard question. Am I giving because this woman has shown that she values me? Or am I giving because I am trying to convince her to value me? Those are two completely different things. One is love. The other is self-negotiation. And once you start negotiating your worth, you have already stepped out of your power. Sign 5. She does not celebrate your growth. She feels threatened by it. A woman can say she wants you to succeed and still resist the version of you that success requires. At the beginning, she may admire your ambition. She may like the fact that you have goals. She may say she loves your drive, your discipline, your vision, your hunger. But pay close attention to what happens when your growth starts demanding real changes. When you need more focus. When you stop wasting time. When you become more disciplined. When you spend less energy entertaining drama. When you start saying no. When you become harder to distract. That is when the truth comes out. A woman who supports your growth will adjust with you. She may miss the extra time, but she will understand the mission. She may want attention, but she will not compete with your purpose. She will know that your growth benefits both of you if the relationship is real. But a selfish woman sees your growth as a threat. Why? Because the stronger you become, the less control she has over your emotions. When you are focused, you are harder to manipulate. When you are disciplined, you are harder to distract. When you respect yourself, you are harder to guilt trip. When you have direction, you are less likely to tolerate chaos. And to a selfish woman, that is a problem. So she may begin to create resistance. Not always openly. Sometimes it sounds like concern. You are changing. You do not have time for me anymore. You care about your goals more than me. You are acting different. Now, sometimes those statements may be valid. If you are neglecting the relationship completely, then yes, you need balance. But there is a big difference between a woman asking for healthy connection and a woman punishing you for becoming more serious about your life. One wants partnership. The other wants control. You need to know the difference. If every time you become focused, she becomes dramatic, that is not love. If every time you set a routine, she creates emotional emergencies, that is not support. If every time you level up, she makes you feel guilty for not being as available to her chaos, that is not partnership. That is resistance. And if you are not careful, you will start slowing yourself down just to keep the relationship calm. You will delay your plans. You will lower your intensity. You will make yourself smaller. You will become less disciplined, less focused, less ambitious, less alive. And at first, it may feel like you are saving the relationship. But deep down, resentment will build. Because a man knows when he is betraying his own potential. You can lie to people around you, but you cannot lie to yourself forever. You will know that you had more in you. You will know that you were supposed to be building, growing, moving, becoming. And you will know that you traded progress for temporary peace. That is a dangerous trade. The right woman does not distract you from your direction. She strengthens it. She may challenge you, yes. She may correct you, yes. She may require presence, maturity, and balance, yes. But she will not make you choose between loving her and becoming the man you are meant to become. A woman who deserves you will want to see you rise. A selfish woman will only support your growth when it does not reduce her control. And that is the difference. Is it lust? Is it low self-worth? Is it the belief that if you just love her harder, she will finally become the woman you need? You need to be honest with yourself. Because clarity without action changes nothing. You can recognize every sign and still stay stuck if your standards are weak. But the moment you decide that peace matters more than potential, everything changes. The moment you stop chasing effort from someone who keeps withholding it, everything changes. The moment you stop begging to be considered, respected, chosen, and valued, everything changes. Not because she suddenly becomes different, but because you do. And when you change what you tolerate, you change who gets access to you. So remember this. A woman who deserves you will not make you feel like loving her requires losing yourself. She will not drain you and call it connection. She will not benefit from your presence while ignoring your needs. She will not compete with your growth. She will not punish your standards. She will meet you with effort, respect, accountability, and consistency. And if she cannot do that, then maybe the issue is not that you are asking for too much. Maybe the issue is that you have been asking the wrong woman. If this opened your eyes, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Because most men do not need more noise. They need clarity. And clarity is what helps you stop choosing what keeps breaking you. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel,